we have an international group here today from all different countries. We have Marina Saylor from, well, she's from Argentina, but she's in Mexico City right now. Navarre Dixon and myself, we're in Clark Summit, Pennsylvania. Iliaria Alarcon, she's from Cancun, Mexico, but she's currently in Canada. Jorge Ramos, you know him, he's in El Salvador. And Diego Jaimovich is in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Rodrigo doesn't have his camera on. He's in Santiago, Chile. And who else? Anybody else from our team on here? I think that's it. And then everybody else is in the Caribbean. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Correct.
The Caribbean.
Nice. I would trade places with you guys in a second. So I'm happy to have everybody here. We have a lot to learn today. And I have exciting news that at the end of our training, we are going to raffle off a standing wheelchair, one free standing wheelchair to one of you distributors. So it's going to be exciting. We'll see who can be very lucky. So with that, I'm going to pass the microphone over to Jorge, and let's see what we can learn. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia. Well, thank you all for joining us. I don't want to take much time on things, so we're going to get started. We're going to have Maria Inés start the presentation. She's going to talk about a little bit of the benefits of standing, and then we're going to get a chance to see Arturo, which I think had an issue with his internet connection, but we will be back soon. And he will showcase the Cetonics wheelchair, and you will see he's a current wheelchair user. So you will see the benefits he's had in his life by using his regular, everyday wheelchair, and additionally having the Cetonics wheelchair. So no further introduction. Here is Mané with the benefits of standing.
Thank you, Jorge. Well, welcome everyone. I want to talk to you about the benefits of standing, and we are presenting our Cetonic, which is a manual standing chair at the end, as Jorge mentioned. I am a physical therapist. I am living in Mexico City since 2007, so it's almost 13 years living in Mexico City, so I'm a bit Mexican as well. Okay, so we are talking about benefits of standings. I'm not sure about your, which is the profession of the attendees? It's like sales, or we have any therapists?
Yes, we do. We have a mixture. Yeah.
We have a mixture. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Regarding the benefits of standing, many of us has listen, read, or someone has told us about the importance of standing. This is really accurate, and it's very, very important to take this always in our heads and think about this when we have a patient or a client. If many of the patients that uses manual wheelchair independently, the majority of them, at least 70%, most of them are spinal cord injury. So many of them are independent. They can move the chair by their own, and they for sure can get in standing position. But many of them don't know they can do this in an easy way. Many of them, okay, occasionally I stand. At the beginning of my rehab, when I was in the hospital, they tried to stand me, and I had a couple of problems with my pressure, blood pressure. But it's really important to take in account that standing position benefits many, many functions in our body. I'm going to mention the most, the ones that are more important, which is bone integrity. density, the skeletal development. So when we are in standing positions, our bones are able to absorb the nutrients, and the density of the bodies, of the bones, needs the weight bearing. So it's a must. If we don't have that, we are not able to do that. So imagine a person that was they reduce 50% or nothing the standing position. So we have very weak bones and we are in risk of fracture. So it's very important that we give our body standing position at least 1 hour a day. That's mandatory. Many of the patients have this request, but they don't know how to do it in an easy way or without help or at home. They need to have special equipment. Now we have a very, very, very nice, cheap, and easy option for you. So another issue really important is to take care of the respiratory and the respiratory capacity, because when we are in a lying position in bed, this is really hard. And we can see now with the COVID and everything that many of the exercises or the rehab of the respiratory need you to have at least a sitting position. So we need sitting, and if much better is standing. Why is much better? Because the diaphragm, which is a very, it's the best muscle to do and prove the resistance of the respiratory thorax, space, we need the diaphragm to go down, to expand, and when we can use the whole length. If we are in a sitting position, we are better than in a lying position, but we still need the help of the gravity. So standing is it's the best position to gain respiratory resistance and capacity. Also, spaticity management. Not all the patients has spasticity. I don't know if you are you know about the definition of spasticity, but it's the increase of tone. And this is an involuntary, and it's a secondary complication with many of the affections on the cerebral, neurological pathologies. So for this adjustment in the control of the tone, we have this increase in tone, which usually we can see a foot that it is in a plantar flexion position, or it is in a torsion position, inversion. We have the whole leg extended in a very, very tough and difficult to reduce tone. It's a very, that's a spasticity. When you have the muscle tone, it's really hard.
Mane, does standing help to reduce spasticity?
Yes, it does, because when you reduce this position, that it's when the spasticity comes, which is like a reflex, and everything goes in a extending position, and you manage to reduce this with a good positioning of the ankle, for example, 90 degrees, as it is when it is standing, then the weight bearing helps. You use the weight bearing to break and to modify those positions of the joints, and you can little by little be helping on the tone to go down. It's many of the work on the tone is positioning. That's why positioning in cerebral palsy patients is so important. We need to modify the joints, modify to a neutral position, the more neutral we can, in order to manage the spasticity. So the positioning of the ankle, the position of the knee, the position of the hip helps a lot with the standing position. Other functions. We never think about this. Sometimes we have bowel, bladder, and kidney function that needs standing to make it easier. and we forget about this. And Arturo can tell later when he will tell us about his testimony on using the position, and it's real. If he takes a lot of, like 4 or 5 hours of the digestion, when you use the standing position, this makes it much easier, more quicker and quicker. So this is another thing to take in account. Besides this, besides the physiological issues, we also have day-to-day problems to face that our clients can be like take a lot of advantage of this kind of equipment. When we talk about accessibility, not only like moving around, getting a work. Maybe now we are in quarantine, we are all home, but it's still at home. You can have a lot of benefits on being independently standing, getting used to things that you used to do at home, and now you can do it by your own. So this is an issue that we always have to take in account, that when we recommend equipment, if it is a manual chair, which is easy to move to one place to another, then it's much easier to get accessibility to many places. If we are thinking about moving the chair from my house to my parents' house, then I can put it in that truck. It's easy to transport to one place to another one. Quality of life. When we are in a standing position, we are human beings that we are meant to be standing. When you see a baby, all you want is maybe like on rehab, like stand and walk. Stand and walk. We always think about that. When for some reason we are not able to stand with our feet by ourselves, then we need an equipment to help to us. But recovering that benefit of being standing, it's quality of life. It's like you feel very good with yourself.
Psychologically, it's really beneficial, right? Emotionally and psychologically.
Exactly. And the economic impact also, it's if you are able to gain a lot of things, being feeling like psychologically better, doing what you used to do, then you are more productive. And the money you spend on buying a product, then it's nothing what you could do thanks to that. So the economical impact of reinsert a person to the life, it's nothing against or comparison with the value of the equipment. We also will benefit on everything, because I want to mention other secondary complications that we used to have with people that is in a standing position many times. We have scoliosis or deformities in the spine. We have like a reduced range of motion. We have pressure ulcers because of the what is better, like not having pressure at all. If you have the tendency of having complications with pressure ulcers and you begin standing much more than you used to, then the possibilities of the proportion of scar ulcers, like scaras or pressure ulcers, will reduce. So all these things that happen to our patients, our clients, will benefit when standing equipment. Okay, now, I don't know if you have any questions for now. No?
Does anybody want to add an experience they've had with a patient or a customer that never had the ability to stand, and then using an equipment, or in rehab was able to stand, and just any kind of anecdotes or positive stories about that?
Maybe later we can maybe after we will have another time for this, or you can type it down. There is a chat that you can also write questions, comments, or whatever if you want as well. Okay, so this is our Zetonic. This is our chair that it's a manual chair, which is manual propulsion. And we have the ability of stand. The standing option is electronical. So we have a joystick. Well, we have a hand control that it allows you with a very, very simple like arrow going up, arrow going down, and that's it. So we can do the standing in an electrical way. This has batteries and it has motor that we will see because we have Arturo with the chair. After I finish, I will share to him. He will share with us the chair in alive. We can see this him using the chair. So the frame is steel. So we are not talking about it's not an ultra weight chair. We can see that because it is a standing chair. So it's impossible to have all the things in one equipment, but it still is a manual and it still is proposal, and we have one measure from weight and one measure from like depth, but we can adjust with cushions, with positioning components, and we can make it fit to many other options on sizes. We have two-function wire remote control. We have casters, which we can see is 5 inches. And we have wheels. It's a folding padded tubular arm support, so you can move it to the back. What else? We use the J3 back on the chair, and the cushion you can use like a very basic cushion, or you can use another one. We have plenty of options of cushions. That's your choice. The idea on a standing chair is to be using the standing position as much as you can. So you are not supposed to be like many hours sitting. That's why the cushion can be like a low profile cushion, or it can be if you are willing to purchase the chair and have a very good cushion and maybe using with another chair, then you can go and it's a better cushion for staying more hours. The total weight of the chair, this is 25 kilograms, and its support is up to 120 kilograms. We have a warranty. Diego, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a 1-year warranty, right? Okay. The electronics parts, we have 6 months. So
a half year, a half.
Okay.
It's not 1 year. A half
okay.
year.
6 months.
6 months in frame and electronics. Okay. So right now, if Arturo is there, right? Okay. So I will stop sharing. I don't know if you want to ask me anything about this, or we go ahead with Arturo.
You can go ahead.
Okay. Ahí está Arturo. Arturo, he's sitting in the Zetonic chair right now. And
yes.
Okay.
Good day, everybody.
I just want to ask you something. Could you look for Arturo in all the windows, and then on the right upper corner, you can have the 3 dots. So you can do like a pin video and put it on the speaker view so you can see Arturo on the whole screen. So we can have a much better view of him using the product.
Yes, I think that when I begin to speak.
Okay.
Okay. It's Jorge in this moment. Okay. Good day, everybody. Jorge helped me with the translate or something, because my English is no good for this moment. Okay. Principalmente quiero compartirles que soy usuario con una lesión medular desde hace 26 años. Soy usuario activo de silla de ruedas, que actualmente tengo mi Quickie Q7 con mi J-Fusion y mi J3 de carbono.
Okay, so Arturo has a spinal cord injury, so he is an active wheelchair user, and as you see, he has his squeaky right beside him, and now he's also using the standing wheelchair.
Ok, y bueno, principalmente es la que uso para salir, para hacer actividades de la vida diaria, pero en casa, oficina, el mayor tiempo que puedo estoy en la silla bipedestadora Cetonics.
So he uses his Q7 like for everyday activities, going outside, but when he's indoors, he tries to use the most time he can to use the Cetonics wheelchair.
Y bueno, como los mencionaron de todos los beneficios que tiene la bipedestación, realmente no solo, como comentó Mané y Nadia, no solo son cuestiones técnicas, sino también muchas emocionales.
And as now he's using the standing wheelchair, there are a lot of aspects about health and everything, but it's also emotionally, psychological benefits that he's seen when using this wheelchair.
Principalmente cuando empecé a usar la silla Cetonics, el compartir con mi familia desde otro punto de vista físicamente, el estar a otra altura, el poder compartir actividades, pero el que ellos también me vieran de otra forma, eso ayuda mucho a la persona.
Like in his family, he's having a better experience now that he can stand. Like he can have eye-to-eye contact with his family, and also his family can also see him in a different position. In a standing position, he's also able to engage in more activity. So that's the first impact he's seen when using this wheelchair.
Y bueno, realmente podemos mencionar muchos beneficios. Ahorita lo que quiero mostrarles son algunas funciones, bueno, las funciones que tiene la silla con un control muy amigable de 2 botones únicamente.
So he can start talking about all the benefits, but we already did that. So he wants to showcase now the product, and you can see the control. It's really friendly, user-friendly, and it has only 2 buttons. So he will start showing now.
¿Le puedes levantar tantito, Dani, por favor? Poquitito.
He's having someone help him. So
Okay,
you can have him.
Algo que tiene muy funcional es la velocidad a la que yo me voy a incorporar. En este momento me estoy incorporando.
As you see, it's a really fast response. You just click on the button and it's an instant elevation from the seat and back.
Y para la pregunta que también hicieron de la espasticidad, es que precisamente esta velocidad y este mecanismo infinito ayuda a que, por ejemplo, yo tengo una espasticidad. Entonces, ahorita me detengo para irla inhibiendo y posteriormente voy siguiendo.
So he also has a problem with spasticity. So as the question was asked, he usually does this and spasticity starts, but he starts gradually increasing it so the spasticity will go away.
Ok, ahí estoy totalmente levantado a los 85 grados que permite la silla. Y pues bueno, desde este momento mis pies empiezan a tener otra función, mis piernas, perdón. Mi tronco igual tiene otra función que hasta sigue siendo como una terapia para la persona que está en la bipedestación.
Right now, he's in a completely different position. He's at 85 degrees, which is the maximum the chair will allow. And this is how he starts his therapeutic process.
Y bueno, como les comento, en esta posición yo puedo tener otras actividades que en la silla de uso diario no las podría tener, como el alcanzar otras cosas, interactuar con las personas de otra forma y bueno, además de que mi cuerpo, pues repito, tiene otras funciones.
Right now, he can, with this, as he's in a standing position, he can engage in other activities like getting things off the top of the cupboard, like getting plates or anything he needs, his interaction with the family, and also the benefits he gets physically from all we mentioned before.
Y tanto el levantarse como el sentarse, ahorita por ejemplo voy para abajo y es la misma velocidad, una velocidad que no afecta a la persona o la misma estabilidad de la silla que es totalmente perfecta.
As you see, the response on the remote is equally faster when going down, and you see also the stability of the chair. It's really good, and as you see, there's no movement or anything of the chair or his person.
Y bueno, también...
Sorry, Jorge,
sí.
I don't know, we have a question.
We have a question, sorry.
If you can
Yes.
move while standing.
Que si puedes mover tus pies cuando está,
No, I think that the question is if you can move the chair, right, Brian? Or not?
No, it's more when you stand, if you can move your feet while standing. It's not
No,
together with the wheelchair, es solamente para tu piernas.
Okay.
No, porque bueno, además mi lesión medular afectó la movilidad y sensibilidad del tronco hacia abajo. Entonces no las puedo mover. Se mueven por el espasmo, pero no es algo controlado. Pero si hay alguien que las pueda mover, sí, pero únicamente para hacer algún ajuste. De todas maneras, también tienen una cinta en los pies. En mi caso, que no los muevo de seguridad. Pero si es alguien que sí tiene una cierta movilidad, sí puede moverlos.
Okay, so I'm going to translate. In his case, he can't move his feet, but there are some people, if they have movement, they can move them, but just for adjustment. Ideally, you would need to have your feet like well positioned before you start the standing movement. So you need to have them well secure, and also the chair comes with a strap that goes around your knees to hold your legs.
The question was answered?
Were you satisfied with the response, Brian? Yeah, he's saying okay.
Okay, perfect. We continue.
Yeah.
Bueno, en la posición bipedestado no puedo mover la silla porque las ruedas me quedan muy abajo. Y en mi caso, como no hay control de tronco, no tendría control de la misma silla.
Okay, so once in the standing position, the chair is not able to move. That's the first thing you need to do. You need to lock the wheels in position, and then you start the process of standing, but he can't move the chair while he's standing.
Pero cuando estoy sentado, no es una silla de uso de que pueda hacer los 2 puntos o bajar banquetas o escalones, pero sí me puedo mover, en los espacios, me puedo mover sin ningún problema como una silla cualquiera.
It's not a wheelchair to be used as a regular chair for everyday activity because it has a wider base, a longer base also to have the stability, but you can definitely use it for indoor activities and for standing indoors.
Okay, en este caso, ya por ejemplo, quité los frenos y me puedo mover en la silla. Me puedo mover en la silla hacia ciertas, bueno, dentro de el espacio lo permita, me puedo mover en las recámaras, el comedor, la cocina, el baño.
So once he unlocks the chair, like he's able to move, for example, he can go into the kitchen, grab something off the top of the cupboards or something from the fridge, and then sit back down and go to the dining room and everything. So he's able to do that inside the house. It's easy to maneuver.
Ok, y me voy a acercar un poco para que vean lo que es la pechera, que es ajustable. Tanto la pechera como el soporte de las rodillas es ajustable dependiendo el peso, estatura de la persona, sobre todo la estatura, se puede ajustar a diferentes tamaños.
So he's going to come closer right now for you to see the chest strap. The chair includes a chest strap and some knee blocks that are completely adjustable depending on the user, and they can be adjusted. It has like to push buttons on the back for the chest strap has 2 push buttons, and on the knee blocks you have two metal supports, 2 metal hooks that hook on the side of the chair, and they're completely adjustable.
Y otro de los beneficios que tiene la silla Cetonix es que puedo utilizar posicionamiento J. En mi caso tengo para esta silla un Go Cushion y un J3 un poquito alto para las cuestiones de que también puedo estar de 3 hasta 5 horas en la silla Cetonix sin ningún problema.
So we also designed this chair to be able to fit the J positioning system. So he's now using a J Go Cushion and a J3 back. And with this, he's able to use the chair for the most 5 hours approximately. And the backrest seems to be a little bit higher, so when he stands, he has a better positioning support.
Y la otra ventaja que al ser un J3 es desmontable, Entonces, cuando transporto la silla, el respaldo se quita, las ruedas traseras se quitan y se puede transportar sin ningún problema toda la silla Cetonics.
Also, with the J3 back, as you know, has a quick easy release button, so you can easily unmount the J3 back, then you can pull the back post, and then you can remove the rear wheels and everything, and this makes the chair easier to transport. For example, you're going to a copter or something, and you want to use the chair in the standing position, you can easily do that.
Okay. Y bueno, también la cuestión es del control, que puede ponerse del lado derecho, lado izquierdo, trae un gancho y un indicador de batería. Esto también puede ser para que cuando estamos o nos preguntan cuánto tiempo dura la batería, realmente puede ser, si es en casa, hasta 3, 4, 5 días, dependiendo del uso que le demos.
And you can see that the remote has a cord, and you can use it either on the right side or the left side, and also has a battery indicator. Usually what we've seen is the battery can last anywhere from 3 to 5 or even 7 days, depending on the usage that the chair is given.
Entonces, bueno, es un producto totalmente recomendable, independientemente de la lesión que pueda tener la persona. Puede tener muchos beneficios, les comento, tantos físicos como emocionales, como mentales.
And as he said, he's had a really good experience with the chair. He sees the physical benefits, the anatomical benefits, and also the emotional benefits. And I'm going to ask Arturo one question right now,
yes.
Which is, as he suffered from COVID, we know that pulmonary capacity has been an issue. So how has that helped you recover from the COVID?
Principalmente por las cuestiones de digestivas y de cambio de posición, porque tenía que estar en reposo, pero aún así un reposo, si paso mucho tiempo acostado, se pueden hacer las úlceras. Entonces momentáneamente me pasaba a la silla y en la silla hacía mi bipedestación para liberar los puntos y obviamente ayudar circulación, digestión y pues todos los beneficios de la bipedestación.
So as he suffered from COVID, like he needed to rest, so he had to spend a lot of time on bed. But that was an issue for him because he had to make some postural changes. So occasionally he used the chair because transferring from the bed to the chair also used up some energy. But he tried to do it so he could have a better circulation, better digestive function, and also better respiratory function. So this was really useful in his recovery from COVID. And we have a question que si únicamente tienes 2 puntos de sujeción en el pecho y en las piernas.
No, yo diría que también los descansabrazos son puntos para, en mi caso, que no, cuando no hay un control de tronco, pueden servir los descansabrazos, también son puntos de apoyo.
So the question was, I forgot to translate before, is the user only fixed at 2 points, chest and legs? Yes and no. I mean, for Arturo, he also uses the 2 armrests as a support. So that would be another point of support. And Max, I think maybe your question is related because we've seen this about pelvic belts or waist belts. Some users want to use the belts, but once, as Arturo is now standing, once you start standing, that belt on the hips just simply falls. So it's not usually used for standing, but more like when you're in the seating position.
Yes, and sometimes the belt on the hip limits the standing. That's why it's not recommended in a standing chair, the hip belt. Usually it's not necessary. With the chest, you should be okay.
Also, how does Arturo experience this? By using a wheelchair. ¿Cómo experimentas los puntos de fijación a comparación, digamos, con tu otra silla de ruedas?
Son diferentes, tienen funciones diferentes. En la de uso diario no puedo hacer cosas que en Cetonics no puedo hacer cosas que en la de uso diario. Pero las funciones principales de la Cetonics es movilidad, digamos cotidiana, casera, y la bipedestación.
So he has these two chairs because they're completely independent, one from each other. The Satanist wheelchair is also used for mobility. He can also move, but the main use for it is it's standing, like for standing at home or different events, but mainly for standing at home now that we're in quarantine or something. So it's very beneficial for him. Some users are not able to go to rehabilitation places or anything. So if they have this equipment at home, they can do the standing on their own at home.
Arturo, yo quisiera también que cuentes un poquito, porque creo que es interesante para la gente, ¿no? ¿Cómo fue tu experiencia? Porque cuando primero tuviste la silla, sí te daba un poquito de temor. O sea, esta experiencia que desde el lado del usuario, que muchas veces nos dicen, ¿no? No es seguro, no me siento seguro. Esa parte que nos cuentes un poquito.
Okay, so Arturo is now going to tell us about his first experience when using Satonics, because there are a lot of users that maybe are scared or have their doubts of standing. So he's going to talk about his first experience with the Satonics.
And also add that a lot of people are afraid they're going to fall because because if they can't feel their legs, they almost feel like they're floating or flying. I've heard them say. So that feeling of being even higher up, you're looking down, you're so much further from the ground, your biggest fear is falling.
How do you help them overcome that?
Okay. Y que si nos puedes, que vamos a platicar después, Arturo, si nos puedes decir un poquito cómo ayudas o cómo superaste tú este miedo, digamos.
Ok, bueno, principalmente la primera vez que me pasé a la Satonics, realmente estaba con 2, 3 personas e inclusive hice la prueba de, ya en bipedestado, movieron la silla para que yo viera que no hacia los lados, hacia arriba, hacia abajo. Inclusive ahorita, por ejemplo, si yo me levanto y puedo hacer movimiento, pues realmente es una silla muy segura. Por eso son los tamaños también, que es algo que hay que recalcar. ¿Por qué no son medidas pequeñas? Porque la estructura está hecha para la estabilidad de la silla. Entonces, por ejemplo, yo ahorita estoy de pie y me puedo estar moviendo adelante, para atrás, y es una silla muy segura.
You're a good dancer, Arturo.
Yes, rock and roll.
So the first time Arturo used the chair, he had 3 people with him that helped him stand. And once he was in the standing position, they started to move him around. They started like pushing him just to let him know and to be safe that he was not going to fall over. And as you saw, he started doing the same thing. He started moving and he was completely safe. And this is the idea behind the sizes that are completely different from the rigid wheelchairs. The base is bigger and everything because we need to provide stability and also like for the user to feel secure and safe that he can use his equipment on his own, as Arturo is doing, because as you see, now it's nobody around, so he's doing it all by himself. Yeah. You see, he can move, he can dance, he can do whatever, and nothing happens with the chair.
Y bueno, ¿qué más? Y les comentaba, la velocidad ayuda para que hay personas que en este proceso de irse levantando, hay algunas que se marean. En mi caso no, pero por eso tiene esta parte de subir y bajar infinito, para que también pueda hacer un programa de ir subiendo gradualmente o bajando gradualmente.
So also one of the benefits of this infinite standing is like some people could feel dizzy once they start standing. So you don't need to go all the way up. You can start like a gradual process for standing, and you can begin to gain confidence of, oh, look, I did it more, and then more and more, and then until you get to the 85 degrees ideally. But that's what also helps the user. Like they can move or stand until they feel secure, and then that will be a process.
Y pues bueno, ya ahorita es totalmente la seguridad que tengo al levantarme. Digo, obviamente sí, no exageradamente, pero es una silla con una estructura muy segura.
And he did the movements and everything, but as you know, it's a really, really stable wheelchair where you don't have to go over the limits neither way, but it's a really, really secure chair. I think we have another question. Does Arturo experience nuisance of the straps or experience he as uncomfortable? ¿Cómo sienten las cinchas? ¿Tiene alguna incomodidad? ¿Cómo se sienten?
No, ambas, tanto la del pecho como la de las rodillas, son, bueno, inclusive que es también la de los pies, son totalmente confortables y seguras.
So he doesn't have any issues. We mentioned both the chest and the knee, but there's also a foot strap. No sé si te pueden ayudar tal vez a enfocar la de los pies.
Puedes bajar un poquito para que se vea.
We also have another one on the feet. We're gonna try and show it. So there's another strap on his feet.
Y Arturo es alto y o sea, es digamos, no es un físico ligerito, o sea, sí tiene uno
Arturo,
mucho. ¿Cuánto
mides?
1.87.
So Arturo is a tall user, 187 meters. So and as you see, he's well positioned. So yeah, the straps are comfortable. He hasn't experienced any issues with them. The three of them.
Jorge,
¿Sí?
¿me escucha?
Sí.
En el fondo solamente quería comentarle a los invitados a esta ponencia la experiencia de Chile, que este tipo de silla es una de las sillas más vendidas en diferentes canales de venta, tanto públicos como privados, entendiendo el costo-beneficio del producto y los beneficios clínicos.
So Rodrigo, our colleague from Chile, is letting us know that in Chile it's a really well sold product, either in the public or government funding or in the private funding, because of all the benefits it shows and I mean the quality of the product. So it's a really good experience in Chile.
We have another question, I think I saw.
No, you answered that one.
In the chat. Okay.
Yeah. So do you have any other questions? Would you like to see something more from the chair, a more closer look?
I think, you know, this is the type of product that every distributor, no matter what country you're in, should consider having in their portfolio. It's a differentiator, it's a difference maker, and it's the type of thing that really has not only clinical but also, you know, emotional, psychological benefits, and it's at a really attainable price point, and it makes a big difference in a wheelchair user's life. I'm curious to hear from our counterparts or customers in the Caribbean. You know, is this type of product commonly seen? Is it something that you already sell or that you see? I'd love to know if this is something that's already really commonplace in the Caribbean, or is this kind of on the newer side?
I haven't seen any of these in the Bahamas, but we're a very small country. Not a lot of places to be able to be mobile with it. So I think it's a great chair, and we would thank you, Arturo, for giving us such a good demonstration. It makes such a big difference to see it in action.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. There's another question for Max.
The user must brake the wheelchair by himself, or it works automatically by lifting. Arturo, the brakes, can you show us how they work?
Yes. ¿Puedes bajarlo tantito, por favor? Y trae la compu para mostrar los frenos. Ajá.
So they're going to move the computer now closer so you can see the brakes. And the question, yeah, the user needs to activate them. Yeah.
Active depth and.
Yeah. He does that, and himself he has to secure them before he does the standing.
Active. Okay, gracias.
Also, ¿puedes dejar un ratito?
A ver, tantito, sí.
Tipo de rueda, porque son.
Ah, okay. Mostrar las ruedas.
The wheels, if you can see them, they're not your regular, let's say, light spoke wheels or like pneumatic or poly tires. and they have the quick release. You can see there below the motor and the actuator there. So it's you get the best of both worlds. Let's say you get the manual propulsion, but you get the electronic standing. So it's a really well built chair. Thank you. Gracias, Arturo.
I think, and it was designed purposely. This is a low medical product. This is something that our team created specifically for the markets that we're in. And we designed it with this portability aspect because what we have found is there's a lot of people who use they have a lightweight rigid chair that they really like to use when they're going to be going longer distances. But when they're home or at work, so they only really need to go a shorter distance, though that's where they like to use the chair. And it's nice that it's portable because you could use it at home. You could put it in your car. You could take it to the office. You can use it. You can stand in a meeting or in a presentation, and then you can put it back in your car and go back home. And then maybe if you're going on an excursion or you're going out for the day, you might not bring the Cetonics. You would instead bring your lightweight rigid chair. So it's really nice that you have the optionality. And, you know, Cetonics does things that the lightweight rigid chair can't do, and vice versa. So it's really the kind of thing that you would do as a complement. I don't think you would want it as your everyday only chair. It's a complement to your everyday only chair.
It's like a rehabilitation.
And for rehabilitation.
Yes.
Yeah, for rehab.
And also, just to add a comment, I know now is a difficult time to travel, but the chair is it can travel. The batteries, they can be taken on a plane. They're safe for travel. So if the user wants to travel to anywhere with the chair, to stand wherever he goes, then he can definitely do it. It's completely safe for travels. Yes, Brian, we do have a video, and I will share it with you. And the idea of doing this presentation is that now that we are all at home, most of the users, the wheelchair users, are not doing their rehabilitation at their centers or clinics and everything. It's more difficult. So we want to showcase this opportunity for people to be able to stand at home, to continue their rehabilitation process and not interrupt their everyday life, because we know how important this is to them. So this is an extremely good option to have at home. And you see Arturo has one, and he already explained all the benefits. So Michelle, we only do have one size. But we are able to do some things to the chair. We can add specifically the backrest you need based on the user. We can add the cushion you want. If you want just foam, if you want gel or fluid, we can do that. So we can do some customization. The weight capacity, la capacidad del peso era
36.
100?
36
kilogramos.
Yes.
136 kilograms.
Okay, so now that we've talked about the benefits of standing, we've looked at a product that helps provide these benefits, and we hope you'll consider purchasing this product in order to have at least one in your your showroom, so that when things do open back up again, customers can see it. It's a cool product to have shown in the standing position, because if people stop and say, well, wait a minute, what is that? So at least it's a talking piece. Even if people don't come in specifically looking for a standing wheelchair, it always tends to grab people's attention. But now I'm really excited because we are going to raffle one off. So hopefully one very lucky customer will be able to have the first Cetonics in the Caribbean. So Novar, will you be so kind to help us with the raffle?
Absolutely. So let me share my screen. You'll see I have a raffle going on right now. It's cycling through everyone here. And I'm about...
Arturo win.
Unfortunately, Arturo, you're not in the list. Okay. But I'm going to click draw winner, and it'll count down, and then we'll have our winner. So here we go. Max.
Wow, that's great.
Congratulations.
Bonaire.
Great job, Bonaire. And for everybody else, because you've been so kind to participate, we are doing a buy one, get one. So this is a special where if you purchase a Cetonics chair, we will send you 2. You buy one, get one free. So Max, if you buy one, you'll get 3 for the price of 1. So
how long is that valid for?
We're doing that for the month of October.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so super exciting. Thank you very much, everybody. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Jorge. We'll send you the presentation. And thank you, Arturo. Thank you, Mané and Jorge, for your presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Bye-bye.